So I'm glad to be here. 25 years is a long period of time. We did miss the mainframe, the mini computer waves, but thereafter we've been here. Looking a little bit towards the future of what are we working on, and one of the reasons why this hassle over here to set up another equipment is just to prove point something. Actually, you should never do it. Setting up a demo with software that has not been used before. So we'll give it a shot. We did give a shot earlier today once on it. I'll give you a view of what are we working on. Harry already mentioned some of the kind of views of why the kind of Japanese way of looking into technology is a little bit different. And that, of course, already starts from our corporate vision, human-centric intelligent society. I'm not able to give you a good translation of the whole sentence of 4 words, human-centric intelligent society, to explain what it is. But the way that I understand it is I changed the last word. I changed it into human-centric intelligent transportation. I changed it into human-centric intelligent healthcare. Or I changed it into something else that is more something that I'm connected into. And then the whole of that becomes the society. Our focus is definitely to put the people at the center of everything that we work on. Whether that is a user interface, whether it's the way that we use data, whether that is the way that we protect your privacy, whether that is the devices that we are looking forward of inventing, since Henrik already proved that the PC wave is kind of had its peak already. A more safer, more prosperous world, both for us and for businesses in the future, where the technology will become a natural extension of everything that you hear as a buzzword of Internet of Things, big data and analytics. Some geeks would mention blockchain at this point of time. Let's talk about artificial intelligence. So we need to make that as a natural extension of what we are doing already. I often use an expression about augmented reality. That's nothing weird, that if some information is brought to us on the spot to guide us. All the traffic signs over here are the same. They're just from the analog world. We are now in the digital world, and we are kind of working on the future of that. The human-centric is continuing in terms of our ways of looking into how do we allow new type of ways of applying the technology to do some common good. Finding new patterns of exploiting technologies for people in different kind of situations and use cases where we haven't seen it before. The hair clip over here is a good example of investments and work that we are doing to allow hearing impaired to experience sound through their hair. And the first results of the research program already showed the quote that you can see over there, that a person can understand the difference when a phone is ringing as a notification sound, or whether that is an email, or whether it is a Facebook, or whether that is a Twitter. And the kind of sensation for them to be more closer to us in other type of communication methods and modalities that we are used to helps them to kind of be part. We are working on walking stick. We showed that a long time ago. It's not completely forgotten. We are kind of addressing the elderly market, like we are working with different kind of hands-free operations as well. A human-centric future from the point of view what I call digital. This is still digital. This is not yet what I call transformation. The transformation becomes a little bit more closer to us in terms of bringing these human-centric devices into industries. So looking into how we collect vital signs from a worker that is remotely working somewhere 200 kilometers away on a power line, trying to fix that because the nearest village is not getting any electricity. Now he's alone over there. So how can we control both from the health and well-being point of view the person that is working? Maybe it's 25 degrees sunlight, he hasn't had any drink for the last 3 hours, is 15 meters above the ground level and not feeling good. So to pick up that information is making the technologies more human, and that's basically part that we want to look into. Of course, the kind of elements related to remote expert connectivity, to have a ability to bring information to the person on site is one area where we want to address, again, the digital. Bringing products and platforms for co-creation so that businesses, different functions and organizations can envision how they could operate in the digital future. We help schools, an example from Russia, to do cashless payments, just using their biometrics. Another kind of a way of bringing the human centricity into the game. They pay the canteen lunches with a biometric ID, their parents can pop up and add kind of a value into the accounts online. And of course, it kind of helps them in pickpocketing situations as well. And from the parent point of view, that this is not consumed on Coca-Cola, it's not consumed on chocolate, it's consumed on the lunch as it was supposed to be. And it's another kind of a scheme of bringing digital closer to the human people. Now, taking that into artificial intelligence. When we talk about Internet of Things, it often brings the dialogue towards something like a sensor, something that we need to put the old street lamp and convert that to an LED lamp, put a wireless hub on top of that, and a sensor to understand what is the temperature outside. It is digital. We have created a lot of different schemes and technologies. One is the video that you are looking into that automatically brings to collect what I call the digital raw data out of our surroundings. We don't always need to add an element of a sensor somewhere. We don't need to always add a new technology somewhere. The technologies like used over here, the CCTV cameras, they are there already. Now just interpreting, using the technology to utilize and exploit machine learning, deep learning, neural networks, event detections, image recognition methods, and motion-based analysis, we are able to derive an understanding of the objects in the world, do different kind of accountings, to create a highly accurate database of our surroundings. Properties, a position, it can recognize that that is a black Volkswagen passenger car, and that creates a kind of a set of properties around it. Now that is still the digital that we're working on. I'll show you what it means when we move from a digital into creating transformations. What we use the technology for, that we have collected. A real-time Internet of Things and artificial intelligence-based support for urban living, where we combine rail data, bus data, existing information from the roads, existing information from the taxis, information we can pick up from the street from pedestrians, not individuals, statistical information from over there, bringing the weather data on it for real-time traffic management type of a system that looks like this. So now, like I said, human-centric, you are looking at artificial intelligence. The interface that we create hides technology sufficient that you don't actually see what is inside. We need to bring the technology in a human manner to the benefit that we want to look. So if I'm interested in railways, that is there in blue. If I'm interested in highways, it is moving over there. This is real-time view of a simulated database that I have on a notebook, so I'm not connected to the network over here. Taxis and city buses underneath this, in a higher resolution we could get even better information of the different kind of a range that might appear in the city in a given time. Now, real-time transportation. Suddenly you get an information that there's an accident. So the routing tables that you have to kind of give you information of the schedules you take in a bus moving to a train wouldn't work. But we have the accident information. And now we can make artificial intelligence type of a predictions of analytics. Let's add another bus to that line to get the crowd back to become mobile. Let's add another train to a given area. Let's send taxis to a given part of the city. Tallinn, Helsinki, Stockholm, Copenhagen, Oslo. We don't really feel the pain. We are not big enough in terms of volume, to be honest. But you can imagine places like Osaka where simply the kind of subways are layered on 8 different vertical stacks. So even just for you to maneuver yourself to change from one subway to another could be a trip of 30 minutes in a single station. you will become interested in real-time awareness. So we can make multimodal routing information, giving you the information that how does a person get from over here to there, using maybe car sharing in future, maybe bicycles in future, maybe on car, and then maybe buses, trains, anything that can apply. What is the fastest way to get there today? What is the least CO2 impact way to get from here today? What is the most cost-efficient way to get from over here? Depending on the profile of the person. These are the type of human-centric solutions that we are working on. Of course, we can add more value for the information as well. Good example is marketing. When there's a finishing a rock concert in Tallinn, we can put more information and sell the data in terms of bringing the public to the local economy, to spend time in cafeterias, to have a dinner, with the same plan at the back that we are looking at the mobility within the city. It's a crowd, it's a peak. We need to cope with the peak. If the city gives a promise that we will in future create a system where you have the maximum of 3 minutes waiting time on any station, on any vehicle, on any kind of a transport modality, then we need to have the ability to act on that promise. And this is basically a tool set that we are developing, a real tool set being developed, not the simulation from that point of view, to kind of create a human-centric urban living environment with various exploitation of data that already exist over there in this current situation focused on transportation. Taking the business view of it, of course we are working with business innovations as well of a similar kind. How do we bring all the vast information that already exists in the world, in the businesses, the business information they have in existing systems that we've been building for the last 30 years, starting with MPR systems to MPR2 systems to supply chain management systems to product lifecycle management systems, and then to CRM systems. I think nowadays we just give them a nickname, SAP, and that's the whole lot. So all that information that we as an IT professionals would be aware of, but there's also a lot of information that in the corporations exist from the ground up. Take the manufacturing, the shop floor systems. There are sensors, you don't need to act. Maybe the control rooms have analog signals showing if something is on high speed or low speed. Maybe there's a light in green, yellow and red showing if a function is operating or not, or maybe a service is needed for an equipment. So how do we exploit all that information, utilize artificial intelligence, add a little bit sensors when the information is not yet available, convert that to become a business innovation for future. In the next demo, you will see the same data being exploited on different layers. There's basically a different view of giving information using AI of a factory-wide optimization of a global operations to analyze, predict, and kind of compare the different factories they have, add KPIs, and actually run the situational events that might happen over there, like a malfunction in a system. This is the corporate executive dashboard. They can see the whole world, various kind of locations. We are now in Asia, looking at China, moving into another part, the Pacific part of the world, including Japan, then jumping into Europe, where this given customer, the real world example with anonymization so you don't see the corporate name over there. Now we are in America. So they have on the right hand side information from their business systems. Now they are looking at energy consumption, the kind of ecological impact they have, displacement information, toxic substance information, comparing their factories in terms of workloads, comparing them in terms of yield. This is what they need. And this is basically based on a set of information that we have aggregated, but we just bring that information in a visible form for those who need it. Same data, used on a different level, because there's something happening in a given factory. I'll jump into a factory in Japan, and I'm aggregating the same data, but I'm just subtracting everything else away. I'm focused on one single factory. I have the KPIs on the right, the same KPIs that the management saw on an upper level, but I also have my vital information of my factory. So I can see what is actually happening over there. And I do have a warning as well. So I need to dig deeper, and maybe this is the production director that is looking at the 3 manufacturing lines of the company. It sees that in one of those 3 lines, the line A, there's a freeze on a given type of a machine, diving into the line manager on the production shop floor, looking into a freeze in a given machine, jumping into that machine deeper, same data again, until we are finally in something that I call digital. This is the sensor. And all the layers of information you have seen before is accumulated and aggregated by bringing all that information of this sensor and all the other sensors in all the factories together. Mashing that up with business information of orders, shipments and others, and bringing the relevance of that information to a user. So already today, some manufacturing companies are behaving like this. Those who are quick with their eyes and are kind of looking into why there are empty areas on the screen without any data for you, I'm not able to access the factory shop floor level from this network. So the protection is there. I'm only able to access the kind of information that can't stop the factory to operate. So there are some pieces of information I can't show here, but I think you got the view that what we are talking about as a separation of digital and transformation. Digital is the sensors. That could be something you add, something that is already there, and that street lamp with that wireless hub, with that sensor to measure the CO2 in the city, or the counter somewhere else, bringing information, that's something that we should forget. That's easy. What is going to be very difficult for many businesses is to understand how will they transform. What is it that they want to become? You actually have now seen 2 examples of something that we call transformation. One in the public sector, a real example to be deployed 2020 towards the Olympic Games, and then another one from a manufacturing company. These are the type of business innovations, social innovations that we are working on, in addition to the different kind of human-centric devices to build an innovative future. AI is there. The last item you can see on the screen is a physical view, an AI view of what you are calling a pin. You go to a Google map or to some other map and you saw an interesting place, you drop a pin over there. Now what if that would be physical? We drop a physical pin somewhere. A physical pin that can understand the emotions, that can respond with emotions, that can respond with voice tones, that can map over 200 movements with body, hands and head to discuss with you. Another set of future innovations that we are building. Digital is there. We work on it. But we are putting far more weight towards what we call transformation. We have the same examples available from healthcare. We have examples available from the financial world. For today, I think I hopefully gave you an impression, building an innovative future, the type of solutions and systems that we are real world working on today to actually hide what you call blockchain, hide what you would call artificial intelligence, hide what you would call Internet of Things, and giving you all the instruments that you need to conduct your work. Thank you.
Thank you.